Hey everyone, welcome back to the 20-hour ukulele challenge, and now I'm going to teach you Can't Help Falling in Love. I guess it's originally sung by Elvis, and there's a really recent famous cover by 21 Pilots. Anyway, it's a really great song. I'm going to teach kind of a ballad version of it, and it should be really good for beginners. So here we go. There's two parts. There's the verse parts, which are pretty easy, and then the bridge part, which is a little more challenging. So you could learn the verse parts and not learn the bridge, but if you're up for a challenge, you can learn both. So here we go. So we're going to start out with a C chord. We've done this before. Middle finger, 3rd fret, 1st string. Gotta look right there. Make sure you got the sound real clean. And we use this fingering when we're going to go to E minor next. So we do ring finger, 4th fret, 3rd string, middle finger, 3rd fret, 2nd string, and then index, 2nd fret, 1st string. Take a real close look. Makes sort of a diagonal line shape. So take a second, pause if you need to, and get that shape down. And then from there, we jump to A minor. We're going to move our middle finger to the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And we make sure we got a nice high arch so we can hear all 4 strings. So take a second and just go back over just the C to E minor to A minor change to make sure you got that solid, because that's the first chord of it. So we'll wait for a second. Okay. So there's those that's what you got first. Then after the A minor, you go F, which we haven't done yet. We go from A minor to we add this index finger to the 1st fret of the 2nd string. That gives us our F. And then we use the ring finger to go back to C. Different finger, same chord. 3rd fret, 1st string. And then we're going to go to a G chord. There's a bunch of different ways to finger G. The way I'm going to do it for now is I'm going to use the index on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, the ring on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then middle 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So it's like a 2, 3, 2, 0 tab sort of thing. By the way, speaking of tab, if you want to read along with the chord charts or any of those things, I have a free lesson page on my website that has all this stuff in there. The lesson's embedded there. Super easy to use it all together. Anyway, here we go. So up to now, let's review all the chords we did so far. C is first, E minor, A minor. And we're going to go F, C, G. F, C, to G. So go ahead, pause if you need to, and just work on those transitions until they're really smooth, and then we'll go on. Okay, sweet. Let's keep moving. So now we have, I think, 5 more chords to go. Let's see if I count right. So then next we go F to G to A minor. To another F. So just take a second to go over those 4. It goes F, G, A minor, F. Just go over those a few times to try to get the sequencing down. Take a second if you need to. Okay. And then the last 3 chords are just C, G, C. And again, I'm using this kind of James Taylor fingering where I just got to move my ring finger over from the C. I just go boop, boop, boop. There's other ways to do it. But this way is very, this way it works really well in the key of C a lot of times. When you want to go to when you want to be able to go to the F chord really easily, this fingering is really good for G. So, all right. So let's review, because that's the whole verse progression. So let's go over everything we just did, just the chords. And we'll go over the counts after that. So C is first, we use the middle finger, E minor, A minor. We go to the next part, F, C, G. Now we go F, G, A minor, back to F again. There's our F. And then at the end we have our last little bit of just C, G, C. And the song has a lot of verses to it. You use those same chords for all the verses, so it's worth it to just go over that a bunch of times and just get that order down. So take a second, go over that sequence, see if you can do it without me telling you or without looking at a paper. See if you can get it in your head. And I'll wait till you're ready. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Now that you've got that down, let's talk about the counts that we do. Now, I play this ballad style, so I just do downstrokes. I basically play sort of like this. Wise men say. So it's really just the number of strokes we do for each chord. So the C gets 2, the E minor gets 2, the A minor gets 4, 1, 2. F's gonna get 2, C's gonna get 2, G's gonna get 4. So notice for the first two pieces, we have this sort of 2, 2, 4. We have like 2 strokes, 2 strokes, 4 strokes, 2 strokes, 2 strokes, 4 strokes. Notice that little pattern up to there. So the G gets 4 strokes. And now for this next part, since we have 4 chords in it, each one's going to get 2 because they're all pretty much going to add up to 8. Every little piece of this that we did adds up to 8 strokes. So we go F for 2, G for 2, A minor for 2, F for 2, and then see if you can guess how many we need for each in the last set. C gets 2, G, and then C's going to get 4. All right. So let's try to put all that together. I'm going to play kind of slowly. You can play along with me, and you can use the YouTube app to speed it up or slow it down, but I'm going to try to keep a steady pulse. So, see if you can keep the right number of counts, and keep with me in the timing. Ready? 1, 2, here we go. C, C, E minor, E minor, A minor. 4 of these. So repeat that as you need to so it can be solid. Because if you ever decide to play with other people or with a singer, it gets a little more challenging. So repeat that a couple times until you feel like you really got it locked down. All right. With that, let's go to the bridge. The bridge is very similar. So you're kind of in the groove of the song. I'll move a little quicker. There's some new chords. Starts out with E minor. Next, we're going to go to B7. Now, B7, the way we're going to play it is the easiest way that I know. Is we're just going to take this diagonal line and just move it over. Super easy way to play B7, and it goes with E minor, which the E minor and B7 show up together a lot. So we're just going E minor to B7. Just take the diagonal line, just boop, just move it over, and you're going to leave the first string, leave it open. Gotta make sure there's a nice high arch. You're not going, you don't want that. You want this. So try that switch between E minor to B minor if you did to B7 a couple times. Just try to pick up the shape and just plop it over. It's a really good skill because this happens a lot. It's a useful skill to learn. And so when the bridge starts, you just kind of go 2 strokes on each chord a couple times. You sort of waffle back and forth between E minor, B7, E minor, B7. You do that a bunch of times. You're like 1, 2 chords each, and then you do it again. And what do you know? You're going to do it even one more time. And then you go to E minor again. Some things. Now you're going to go to A7. So there's like one E minor. It almost starts the E minor B7 thing a 4th time, but instead of going to B7, it goes to A7, which is a nice little 1-finger chord that we do. So you use the index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. So it's kind of the one closer to your face rather than closer to the ground. It's not this, which is pretty sweet, but what we want is this. Actually, those sound nice together. I kind of like that. Anyway, but so we go from the E minor to A7. Just pick this finger up and just whoops, yeah, wrong finger. There we go. So E minor to A7. So now we're going to go to D minor next. I don't know if I've taught too many of you D minor yet. So the way we get to D minor is we're going to move the index over to the first fret of our second string. We're actually going to sort of make an F chord. We start with an F chord, and we kind of got to get this middle finger right in there on the second fret. You really got to kind of can those two in there like sardines. It's a little tight, but you can learn it. So you basically take F and you add this finger right there. So take a look at how that fits together. Look at it from this angle. The fret numbers are second, first, open. So try to get that D minor shape. And again, the sort of radial twist here, boop, will help your fingers sort of, instead of having to always go this way, they can sort of crunch in a little differently. If you sort of angle your hand a little sort of sideways, almost like this, wee, that can help you kind of lean over and then a little twist that way. Will often help you get the squeeze that you need to fit them in there comfortably. There's definitely space for people with almost any size hands to do this. But yeah, sometimes it takes a little wiggle. So take a little bit of time. Learn your D minor there if you haven't yet. And then the last chord we're going to deal with in this song is going to be a G7. To get from D minor to G7 is super easy. You just got to move these two fingers sort of over this way. Your middle finger goes over one string and your ring finger goes over two. And then you wind up with this sort of like backwards G chord, or like the upside down or like left facing or whatever triangle. It's still a triangle shape. So look how easy this is. D minor. You leave the index finger down and pivot around it. You just twist radially. Woo, 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 woo. Wave to, it's kind of like the wave to the queen feel. Just kind of just woo. Just like that. So, if you need to, go over some of this section again and make sure you know all those chord shapes. There's a lot of chords in this that are a little different than what we may have done before. So take a second, review those. I'll pause and wait for you, and then we're going to do it with counts. Every chord just gets 2 strums, so it'll be super easy. Okay, bridge time. All right, I'm going to do this very, very slowly. For a lot of people, this is going to be challenging because their chord changes a lot. If you're a little more advanced, you can speed the video up. YouTube apps should let you do that on pretty much any device these days. So see what we can do with it. 1, 2, and here we go. 1, 2, B7. E minor. 1, and 2, B7 again. And third time. E minor. B7. You go to E minor one more time. E minor. E minor to A7. D minor. G7. And end with C. Alright, so if you need to take it out of time and just practice just feeling the transitions at your own pace, I highly recommend that. Because you get fast by going slow enough to really learn how to do it correctly. You actually learn faster if you practice slower. It doesn't look that way on the outside, but it's actually, when you zoom out and you practice for a lot of years, you realize the fastest way to learn is actually to go real slow. So I highly recommend slow that video down, speed it up. Don't use it at all. Just try to practice the shapes, whatever you got to do. But really try to get those finger postures as clean as you can and get every chord as clean as you can when you hear all 4 notes. So, once we've got that bridge down, then, if you can, take a second, go back and review the verse, see if you remember it. If you remember the verse, just go back to the earlier part of the video and just check the verse out again. And then maybe even check the bridge out. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a part, and I'll go to another part, and I'll go back and forth and back and forth. I call it just waffling between those things. I'm just like, I'll do this part, and I'll do this part, and I'll do this part. And I'll go back and forth between them a couple times to really get them in my memory. And then, once we've done that, now I'm going to do the whole song all the way through. I'm going to do, there's basically, the way the song goes is that there are 2 verses, there's the bridge, and then there's a verse again at the end. And you can repeat pieces of those after that, but that's basically the whole song. So I'm going to do all that at the regular tempo of the song, and you might be able to play along at this point. You might need to slow it down, but it's totally up to you. But I'm just going to play along and sing the words and everything. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin? For I can't help falling in love with you. Now, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are just meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, 'cause I can't help falling in love with you. Yeah. Okay. So, if you need to practice that more at a different speed, go ahead and use YouTube to do it. If you want to just work on a different song, go to the first song in the series, go to the last one. But I highly recommend you try the 20-hour ukulele challenge if you're a beginner especially. It's a great way to get started on the instrument. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this and hope to catch you later. Bye-bye.